When it comes to the topic of player health in games, there's so much to discuss that it's sometimes hard to know where to start. Thankfully, for this mini evolution, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most memorable healing items in gaming, the health packs of Halo. First appearing in Halo Combat Evolved, the health pack is a small, compact kit that contains various medical supplies. The first Halo was a product of the late 90s to early 2000s, but that didn't mean that it religiously followed the templates set out by the likes of Doom and Quake. Halo crafted a dual health system. The player had 2 layers of protection from certain death during gunfights. The first layer was a protective energy shield that could regenerate itself after a time, with the second layer being a more finite health system that ticked down as the player took damage. The only way to repair damage done to the player under the shield layer was to find health packs that would automatically activate upon picking up, flashing the player's screen in a soft white and restoring their lost health. What was the gameplay point of this, you may ask? Well, according to an excellent analysis on Halo's gameplay design that I'll link down below, having a finite health system meant that there was always a level of tension in combat. A hit taken was the consequence of poor gameplay, and the spreading out of medkits throughout a level could give the player a constant item of interest to search and explore for. Now, the regenerating shield system was a layer of depth that ensured the game wouldn't just evolve into a health pack scavenger hunt, and that the player did have some room to play a bit recklessly. This dual health system was an innovative concept that allowed the encounters of the first Halo's levels to feel impactful and allowed the gameplay to feel as if it had a layer of consequence and tension to it, while allowing the player to be a bit gung-ho. A bit like finding a cold water bottle in a hot desert, the little white octagon case and pulsating red cross was an exciting discovery in the campaign for players. What's interesting about the health pack's unique octagonal shape is that during development, Bungie used a more rectangular briefcase design for the health packs. This design even shows up in the game's Xbox manual, which calls it a health power-up. But in the final game, the only surviving asset of this design is found on board Pelicans in an unusable state. During the development of Halo 2, health packs were originally tossed around, and a new upgraded model was even created for it. The final game, however, opted for the less tense but more action-focused regenerating health system that Halo has mostly stuck to this day. As far as Halo 3 is concerned, a Bungie artist by the name of Jeremiah Strong created quite a few assets that ultimately went unused, one of which was an update to the health pack. This one was a bit less long and a bit more fat, but the logos and coloration, you may notice, are quite a bit different. You see, the red cross symbol that most associate with healthcare and medical services, well, technically, games shouldn't be using this symbol in the first place. The Red Cross is a legally protected symbol in not just the United States and Canada, but the globe. In order to ensure the symbol didn't become genericized, there was an aggressive crackdown on toy companies and video games who used this symbol quite regularly. The reason the logo looks so different in Halo 3 is most likely due to Bungie and Microsoft wanting to comply with the demands of the Canadian Red Cross. It's quite a different look for the health pack, and even if it never became the official look for it going forward, it's an interesting what if. So, for Halo 2 and 3, health packs were considered but ultimately dropped. It wasn't until ODST when Bungie finally decided to commit to a finite health system again. This time though, health packs were not returning. Due to the game taking place in a futuristic African city, New Mombasa, the player's main source of health came from the public healthcare provider Optican, whose kiosks and first aid stations can be found on almost every block of the metropolitan city. During the Battle of Earth, Optican turned out to be a vital source of supply for brave men and women who died pushing back the invading alien army. When the players find themselves low on health in ODST, looking for the unique blue glowing label of an Optican health pack is a must, and for those curious, the label is readable and comes with detailed instructions on how to treat damage. In 2010, Bungie's final game in the Halo franchise, Halo Reach, came full circle when it brought back the original health pack, albeit with a logo change, switching out the red cross for a simple, pulsing red H. H for Halo, because that's the name of the game. This recreation of the original Combat Evolved health pack became Halo's definitive look going forward, and this went on to make an appearance in the remake of Combat Evolved, though it should be mentioned the health pack in the anniversary graphics doesn't pulse like the original. It stays static and flat, but it's a minor issue. The health pack likewise also made an appearance in the remaster of Halo 2, where during gameplay they used the Reach model, but during the blur CGI cutscenes, you probably noticed they used the cut Halo 3 symbol. Isn't that interesting? Jumping ahead a couple years, health packs were part of Halo Infinite's development loop, but prior to release, the choice was made to stick with the more action-focused Halo 2 health system. This didn't stop a single health pack from being left in the game's campaign, though. It can be found as a textureless, red silhouette in the campaign. When picking it up, the app will crash due to the game calling on an item that no longer exists under the hood. Yeah, if you were wondering what that mysterious red item was all this time, that's a cut health pack. The dream wasn't dead entirely, though, because as of Season 2 in Halo Infinite, health packs can be earned from the Battle Pass and hung off your gun as a cute little charm. And finally, the health pack made a brief but memorable cameo in Halo the series on Paramount Plus, where it's sporting a design oddly close to the cut Halo 3 prop, albeit with no red markings or logo. The health pack is such a small fragment of the Halo series, making inconsistent and scattered appearances, whether it's violating the Geneva Convention or taking on alternate forms. One thing is for certain. The little white Optican with a pulsing red H is an item most Halo fans have quite a bit of nostalgia for, and as long as the Halo series keeps puttering along, we can expect this little kit to be there, ready to tend to our injuries. What's your favorite version of the Halo Health Pack? What do you think of these smaller, bite-sized evolution videos on niche topics? What should the series even be called? And finally, it's time for my impression of a health pack. Whoa.
Z, I'm a health pack. I heal your injuries. I am a white square.